To After the Flag, live here from Austin, Texas, after Marquez reclaimed his COTA crown in phenomenal fashion. It's Jack Appleyard and Simon Crafar here to analyse all of the huge takeaways from the Red Bull Grand Prix of the Americas, with Matt Birt poised and ready to speak to our podium finishers. And Simon, there's only one place and one man to start with, Marquez, a utterly phenomenal performance. I guess the biggest credit you can give him is how easy he made it look. After everything he's been through this year, still carrying those injury problems, at a hugely demanding and physical circuit, to go out and win in that fashion was just sensational.
Absolute class. You pretty much said it. And straight from off the line, as he said, everything went to plan. He pretty much did the race how he planned it, as he said to us in Parc Ferme. But the thing is, hands up, last time we stood here together, I said he wasn't the favourite, because coming into the most physical track on the calendar, already before the bumps, it'd arguably be that, but with the bumps, it is by far the most physical, and I just didn't think it was possible to do, and he did it. So, I mean, he is class around here. He always has been. It's another left-hand circuit. You can say all that, but at the same time, I don't know that he can use the excuse of his shoulder for much longer, meaning I know it's still bothering him, but you think about it, everybody suffered today. The guys are in good physical shape, suffered, and he managed to do it. So it must be good enough, to pull a feat like this off. So unreal. And I mean, he is amazing, We're seeing the mark of the past return, and hats off to what he did today.
Obviously his second victory of the year after he had his comeback win at the Sachsenring in Germany. How does this one compare? Obviously in Germany on that day, a little bit of wet weather at the right time helped him get that jump, but he executed his plan to perfection today.
Yes, he really did today. If you're saying comparing Germany to here, I would say Germany blew my mind more, and I think it meant more to him. He was less sure that he could do it, but all this weekend during practice qualifying, all the interviews, the debriefs I've listened to, he had a different aura about him. He had, I think, more confidence about doing what he did today.
We saw the race start on your screens there a moment ago. How important was that from the front row, he managed to get the whole shot and was able to control the race from there? He said to you in Parc Ferme afterwards, he was looking to control that pace, keep it steady for the opening 5 laps before then pulling the trigger. How important was that to the victory?
Like I said before, it was basically executing his plan exactly. He wanted to get the jump. He didn't want to get in a fight and be mired and, and have to fight back. He used more tyre, trying to get the exits to be able to pass at the end of the straight, and you take more risk to pass. He didn't want to do all that, take more risk to pass people on the brakes here. And so he didn't have to do any of that. He wanted to get the jump with that soft rear tyre, hold it, and as it dropped, just, manage, keep it going. But he did it perfectly. Absolute class.
Yeah, it was class, and it was also class from Fabio Quartararo as well, the championship leader. Now 52 points clear of Francesco Bagnaia. You feel like this is a vital, a pivotal moment in this World Championship fight. Now 52 points with 3 rounds to go. Could this be the most important result so far in this championship chase?
I think you hit the nail on the head of why Fabio was so happy in Parc Ferme and saying this felt like a win, and he had a genuine smile on, is that he knows he's just done what you said, one more nail in that coffin. But hats off to Fabio. All year he's been absolute class, and I don't think I've given him enough credit till lately. Really, I don't know why it's taken me so long to see how damn good he is, because no one else on a Yamaha is doing what he's doing, especially not consistently. So, amazing again from Fabio.
I think the consistency is the right word. He almost not goes under the radar. Of course he's not, because he's the World Championship leader. But the fact that every weekend he's there on the front row, he's there challenging inside the top 5, you just get used to seeing him up there. But I guess that is how you make a perfect champion and a perfect championship fight been able to put that sort of run of results together.
Yeah, and he, like you're saying, it doesn't sometimes become so obvious, or at least to me, how good he is. But I'd just like to repeat, he's been amazing this year, like Fabio. And you listen to the other Yamaha riders talk about it, what he does on the bike, and he does it so consistently and lack of mistakes, real maturity.
Okay, let's hear from the man of the moment then. Matt Birt is sat waiting to speak with your race winner here today, Marc Marquez.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jack. The king of Kota is back on his throne. A truly dominant performance from Marc Marquez. Marc, I bet when you went to bed last night in Austin, in the hotel, you couldn't have dreamt of Plan A being executed to such perfection, could you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect race. It was the one that I dreamed tonight, or last night. It's true that, I mean, from the beginning, my plan was try to lead the race from the beginning, because the first laps was my weak point, and then I tried to slow the race in the first 4 or 5 laps, I think, more or less. And then when I feel okay, I just push, but one shot, you know, strong, from one lap to the other one. Half second faster, and this was one of the main reason to able to open a gap. So happy, really happy, because it has been a very hard season. Sometimes I crash and I don't understand. Sometimes I'm fast and I don't understand. Sometimes I'm slow and I don't understand. But this victory I was looking for, because I know that maybe it was the last circuit with a good conditions to win. But anyway, my intention is try to be not strong like here, but try to be strong in the last 3 races, and try to be consistent. And yeah, let's see. Now happy, thanks to the team, thanks to Honda, to everybody, to believe in me, because you know, we are working a lot, and sometimes the results didn't arrive, but they keep working a lot, and this is important.
Quite clearly, Marc, your plan was, like you said, worked perfectly. Laps 6 and 7 were the crucial moments where you were able to pull that big gap. Did you think that anybody was going to be capable of coming with you, or did you think that those 2 successive fastest laps were going to be enough to make that crucial break?
You know, I believe after warm-up that Quartararo was able to follow me. But it's true that here, when you follow somebody, then it's difficult to stop the bike on the brakes, and here I was able to ride alone and really fast and consistent, especially consistent. And yeah, is what I did. I tried to manage the race from the beginning until the end. And it's true that in the last part of the race, the physical condition dropped, but I think everybody. The main difference of this circuit is that I suffer, but the others suffer too. In the other circuit, I suffer like here, but the others suffer a little bit less. So this is the main difference. Here, today, the arm that was working more was the left one on that long break points, but this one is working well. So I was able to be constant for that reason.
You've won so many races in these kind of conditions before, Marc, as well, but I mean, how tough is it when you've got such a big advantage to keep your focus, keep your concentration, because it was very, very difficult out there today with the heat and the bumps?
Yeah, it's so difficult, especially for the bumps, because the problem is that when you slow down a bit, then the bike is shaking even more, you know. And last lap I was looking stupid because I was riding slow, but the bike was shaking a lot. I said, what's going on here? And especially it's difficult to keep focus. 3 laps to go, I nearly crashed on turn 6. I touched the curb inside and I lose the front. So that means that, you know, in this kind of circuits, you must be concentrated, especially on that turn 12. Every time that I go too much on the brakes, was here the image or the feeling of 2019. And then I was going wild. But yeah, it was focused and I was concentrated because I believe.
We know how much you love winning in America. A great tribute to Nicky Hayden as well, of course, as well. I've just got one more question. How good did the donut taste on the podium?
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to win in Austin, especially because Nicky Hayden is one of the riders that I appreciate more. And also because I remember a lot on the podium the Viñales family, especially Viñales family, because you know, I know them since I was 8 years old when we were riding on the karting. So it's hard year for the motorcycle world. But yeah, then we discontinue. We must continue. We need to remember all these persons, but also we need to celebrate the victories. And yeah, one of the of the deals of the weekend was that donut with the Jet Lawrence. The team already buy donuts, Dorna buy donuts.
So no pressure.
Jet buy donuts, Jet Lawrence buy donuts, and then I say, okay, no pressure, it's okay, but was nice.
Mark, amazing words and an amazing ride as well. Congratulations on a fantastic win here in Kota.
Thank you very much.
Great to hear from your race winner, Marc Marquez. What a performance today. And I guess the good news from that, Simon, is there's going to be a few donuts left over in the press room once we finish off here. Looks like there's a few going around. What did you make of what he had to say there?
Yeah, no donuts for me. I got to say, Mark, just listening to him, he's absolute class. I know I've already said it, but the thing I'd like to say is I think, my opinion is that he's past the worst with his shoulder. To do what he did today, I think he's past the worst. And at circuits where the Honda will work and he likes, he can do that. And the thing is, I don't think the Honda's working well everywhere. You can see that by what the other Honda riders can do, and they're good. So the big thing I take out of all this is next year, when Honda make a step forward, because engines have been frozen till now, and I think they will make a step forward, and Mark will be back.
It's going to be a frightening prospect for everybody else on the grid, including this man, Fabio Quartararo. He's not bothered about 2022 at the moment, though, Matt. You think he might have just put one hand on the 2021 title. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jack. I'm standing in front of a super happy Fabio Quartararo. Fabio, 20 priceless points for the World Championship. We saw your celebrations. We saw how much it meant to you. I mean, you celebrated it like it was a victory, and that's looked like what it felt like here today. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. Felt even better than a victory because, you know, you are getting closer to the championship, and is one less race. You know, when he's missing 10 races, you don't count this -1, but now it was 4 races remaining, now only 3. We take points over Pecco. Yeah, it's just an amazing moment, and I feel he's the best moment of my life right now, and I'm enjoying so much.
Talk us about the race. We always knew it was going to be incredibly difficult from a physical and mental point of view. 20 laps in this kind of heat and humidity with the bumps as well. It was going to be a tough race. We saw Mark kind of execute his plan to perfection. He slowed the pace down at the start, and then laps 6 and 7, he really got the hammer down. Were you thinking at that stage that you could still go with him, or was it just too risky to try and run that pace?
I tried, to be honest, because I couldn't do better because I knew that was a big group behind me. And I just pushed at my maximum, but the first lap, I have an idea why Mark got that pace a little bit more slow in the beginning, but then yeah, he goes super fast, and I just tried to make my best pace. And my best pace was that one, and Mark was 3-4 tenths faster than us. But my goal was clearly to be on the podium, and we achieved it. So yeah, I'm so happy, I have no words.
3 weeks' time in Misano, it could be the biggest moment, not just of your racing career, the biggest moment of your life. You go into Misano, you can be crowned 2021 MotoGP World Champion. How does that make you feel?
Yes, of course it feels good, but you know, I have not, to be honest, that race I had quite a lot of pressure on, but just from myself, not from any person of Yamaha. I had some bellyache before to start, but to be honest, that was the toughest race, because after that one, now we have 50 points of advantage. To be honest, in Misano, I will have nothing. And if it's not in Misano, I will do my best there, and then Portimao will be the moment to achieve it. So now I'm on the championship mode, but if we can fight for the victory in Misano, we'll go for it, and we take it step by step.
You're so close, though, to fulfilling a boyhood dream. What would it mean to you to win the World Championship this year after an incredible season?
Yes, a lot of emotion, to be honest. When I finished on the second place, feel like a victory, and you know, you see that you are getting closer to my biggest dream. When I was 4 or 5 years old, it's already more than 15 years that I'm dreaming about this, and we are a big step closer for that.
You really are a big step closer, Fabio. Huge congratulations. A great weekend, front row on a podium. Well done. Enjoy the celebrations in Austin tonight.
Thank you.
Fabio Quartararo now 52 points clear in the MotoGP World Championship with 3 rounds to go. He wouldn't be drawn on it too much there, Simon, but you could just tell there was a confident twinkle in his eye that he knows that it's pretty much job done now.
I think he's scared to think like that, but it's so nice to see that genuine smile come out about what he achieved today. You know, like we were talking before, one big step closer. He's a great kid, isn't he? I really enjoyed watching him there. And the thing I'd just like to overview Fabio, how I see him, is he's a natural talent, unbelievable. You know, and he turned up here. We saw the first years that how fast he was immediately, you know, fighting Mark all the way to the last corner a few times. But it was up and down and a bit emotional, and that's typical for those amazing talents I've seen during my career and since. And I've said it before, I really didn't know if he would figure it out, you know, and become the man he has, you know, and I'm so happy that he has. And I think barring anything, you know, bad happening, meaning injury-wise, I think he's here to stay. And I really respect the work he's done on himself to make himself who he is now as a rider.
It's going to be an exciting prospect in 2022 because there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be going head-to-head with Pecco Bagnaia. We need to touch on him before we hear from him with Matt. Things didn't go his way today. He was forced to fight for it. And before we touch on Pecco Bagnaia, let's hear what he has to say about it. Matt, over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jack. We always knew it was going to be a very tough physical race for everybody out there today. Pecco, it looked like, I think you said to Simon in Parc Ferme, almost as tough, if not tougher, than Sepang or Buriram. So what are your thoughts and feelings after a hard-fought third place here in Austin?
I'm very happy. We did the maximum. Fabio and Mark today were faster than us, so more than this was very difficult, so I'm happy. We can't be disappointed. We did the maximum. So pole position yesterday in a track where we started struggling and we always struggled, so was already a good result. But today podium is another story. I'm very happy because I tried all from the start, but at the start I was struggling a lot with the rear grip. My rear tire was not ready. Like we were speaking with Fabio and Mark. They told to me that in Misano they had my problem. So I started in Misano with the maximum grip and was everything perfect. And for them, no. And this time for them was okay, and for me, less grip. But it's okay, it could be happen. And then I just seen that the riders in front of me have started to struggle a bit, so I was seeing that the podium was there. I tried all. The last part of the race was not easy, but finally we achieved another podium and nothing. Fabio opened the gap again, but it's okay like this. We know that we lost point in other circuits, in other situation, and now we are doing a really good job from the summer break. We have learned a lot, and we are continuing this way, so this is the perfect job.
At one stage, when you were fighting back after that quite difficult start with the rear grip problems, we saw it looked like Jack let you come on through. Is that something that you and the team have talked about previously, because it looked pretty obvious, or was that just Jack realising he didn't have the pace and he wasn't going to try and obstruct you?
I think that Jack did this move by himself.
His own judgment, yeah.
Because at the start I was thinking that was closing the gap to Fabio, because with the rear grip, with the rear arc, I was doing a really great job. But then I was seeing that was starting to struggle a bit. And then when I was behind him, I was catching him for half second by lap, and he don't force to me to make a aggressive move to overtake. So he let me pass, and I had just to say thanks to him and also for Def before. And we are doing, I think, a really great teamwork because every time we are helping each other. So for me, it's the perfect job.
It looked like it was going to be a pretty intense battle with Jorge Martin for the podium as well, until unfortunately Jorge got the penalty late on. What were your thoughts on that and how it might have panned out if Jorge had not had the penalty?
I was seeing that the target was more in trouble than me. Was braking a bit early, and I didn't force it too much the overtake because I was seeing that he was crossing the turn 5 or too far.
Yeah, turn 5.
So I was already knowing that he had to let me pass, and nothing. I don't know in the last lap if I was there. I think he did a long lap.
He did, yeah.
Okay, but he was doing a good job. But I think for a rookie, this track is not easy, even more with these bumps.
Yeah, it was impressive actually by Jorge Martin. It's going to be difficult now. You know that, Ducati know that in terms of the championship. 52 points behind Fabio going to Misano. We know you're never going to give up though until it's mathematically impossible. What are your thoughts going to Misano? I guess you can just try and repeat what you did a couple of weeks ago and see if you can keep the pressure on Fabio.
My objective will be to continue in this way, working and improving every time. Fabio is doing an amazing job from the start of the season. After Mugello, we lose a bit our objective, I think, till Assen. But after the summer break, we started again to have the same feeling of the start, and or even better. And from Austria, we started to have another feeling with the bike, and every time I was competitive. We had a bit of bad luck in Austria and Silverstone, but nothing. Now we have these 52 points, but we have to do the maximum. So, like this is okay.
Great job, great weekend at Pecco, pole position and a podium. Well done here in Kota.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
It's 3 straight pole positions, you rightly say, Matt, for Pecco Bagnaia, and now 3 straight podium finishes as well. He's in a rich vein of form. Obviously, the result today wasn't what he would have hoped for, but still a strong performance given the difficulties he mentioned at the start of the race.
I'm so glad we got to hear him before we spoke, because I was going to say I can't wait to hear him in press conference where he might explain what was going on, because he just didn't have the pace early on that I really thought he would. I thought he'd be with Fabio, even Mark, really early on, and he'd be difficult to get rid of because the Ducati's so fast down those straights. You know, acceleration's so good off the turns, but he was clearly struggling going backwards, and then rescued it, came back, you know, as everyone else's tyres dropped off. Impressive job to do that. But it's a shame we didn't get for what, you know, the technical problem he was talking about, rear grip, that we didn't get to see him do what I think he could have done today.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be frustrations for him, but again, another strong performance from Pecco, and he'll go on to Misano, I'm sure, hoping to repeat that. Let's move on to some of the other topics of today's race. Firstly, as Pecco mentioned, Jorge Martin's incredible ride. In the end, coming across in 5th, but it have to have so much credit for the performance that he put out there today.
I think apart from Mark, you know, Jorge's was the ride of the day. Unbelievable. I never put him down for that sort of result, because I just thought it was too physical here for a rookie to, and like I was mentioning during the race, rookies use their bodies more and haven't yet figured out how to make the bike do the work. It takes years, you know, of setup and practice at it. And he ran as fast as he did at this really physical track. He's a danger. You've got to come into next time here, early next year, and I think people will be worried about him.
We should see the mistake that he made through turns 4 and 5, I think, in a moment. Do you think that was just that he'd run out of gas, run out of fuel at the end with a couple of laps to go?
It was hard for me to see from pit lane. The screen's not so close, but I think he lost the front, and that's what made him, you know, have his gear and run straight through. But basically, you've got to lose some time or lose a position. He didn't do that, so got penalised. I don't think he can be too disappointed, because incredible ride from Jorge Martin today. He's a big danger for the future. I love these rookies, and I have to say, while we're talking about Jorge and loving the rookies, Enea Bastianini in 6th, unbelievable. Again, 2-year-old bike, rookie on a really tough track, amazing.
A superb performance from both Jorge Martin and Enea Bastianini. Bastianini benefiting from a coming together on the final lap between Joan Mir and Jack Miller. You've not seen it yet, so...
I was running to Parc Fermé.
Yeah, let's see, just before we leave you, if you're able to watch that incident between Mir and Miller to get your thoughts on it, because it was a late lunge from the factory Suzuki man, and Jack, we saw afterwards, wasn't best pleased with it. Here is it, Simon. Let's get your thoughts on it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was clearly a little over-ambitious. I mean, it's hard to judge when the boys are on the limit, tyres are, but yeah, he obviously had a go. Jack has got the line and he's punted into the side of him, you know. And the thing is, when you're having a go with someone who's the same speed as you, it's not always easy, you know. He's probably like, oh no, the thing won't turn, it won't stop, poof. And yeah, it was his fault, clearly.
Yeah, and you can see Jack Miller not best pleased with it. You'll be able to get both his and Joan Mir's reaction to that incident on MotoGP.com in an hour or so. It's time.
I have to throw in there,
Go on.
where that's the sort of thing sometimes you have to do if your bike is slower, is try to make things on the brakes. But
And Mir was docked a place for that in the end.
Fair
Mir
enough.
in the final standings, 8th, Jack Miller 7th. But today the headlines have been grabbed by Marc Marquez, the king of COTA, taking victory here once again. A phenomenal performance from the 8-time world champion. Thank you very much for joining us here. 13 months we've been waiting for an American Grand Prix, and I think you'll agree it was certainly worth the wait. Here are the highlights to leave you from Austin. Thanks for joining us.
To the lights, and we're underway here in Austin. A good start there from all riders on the front row, particularly Marc Marquez, who shoots through immediately to take the lead and will lead through turn 1 here in Austin. Martin is looking very good indeed. Is Martin going to have a look? Yeah. Jack Miller has gone through crucially on Alex Rins. Jack Miller clearly allows Pecco Bagnaia through. Big mistake there, and the gap then comes right down to just a few tenths between himself and Bagnaia.
Where does Bagnaia pick his moment? Because at the moment it looks like it's going to be inevitable.
Bagnaia goes through, he's into 3rd. 7 wins in 8 visits. The king of COTA is back on his throne. Captain America is back. Marc Marquez wins in Austin. Fabio Quartararo, a brilliant 2nd place, and you can see how happy he is with that. And Pecco Bagnaia in the end, 3rd.